Everybody. Welcome. So glad to see everybody. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. Really glad you guys have all joined us today on this day, 600 and something or other. I hope Kevin is here to let me know. I'm super, super glad to see you. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome. Thanks. Hi, everybody out there on Facebook Live. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're here at the Daily Antidote of Song, as you may know, noon Eastern every single day, singing one song, building a little community, having a little chat time. And delighted today to be here in the amazing presence of both Reggie Harris and Peggy Seeger. Before we get started, I'm going to get some hellos in because I can't wait to say hello to all these fabulous folks. Let's start with hello to Reggie Harris. Hello, Reggie Harris, wearing his Valentine's Day red. And hello, of course, to Peggy Seeger, still quite setting up there over there behind the scenes. And Bob and Christiane in Maryland, hello, nice to see you. Hello, Willard, coming in from Vermont, one curly top in the screen, nice to see you, sweetie. Hello to Amanda and Miles in Michigan. Hello, Steve and Michelle, coming in from Maryland, well, at least the Steve part. Hi, Kate in Charlottesville. Hello to Kathleen in Albuquerque. Hello, Hoda. Nice to see Hoda today. And lovely. Hoda's hair is down. Everybody, let's cheer Hoda's hair. You look so beautiful, Hoda. Hello to Robert. Nice to see you today. Glad you're with us. And hello, Trish in Victoria. Hi, Jenny in Suffolk. Dick and Kathy coming in from BC. Nice to see you guys and your beautiful smiles. Hello, Dan in Virginia. Hello, Susan in Ohio. Bonnie in Idaho. Kathy in upstate New York. Arlene in California. Hello to Luda and Mark on their 28th anniversary. Man, they are like one celebration after another in that square. Hello to Brian. Nice to see you today. Hello to Becky in British Columbia, Dally in Maryland, Aloysius. Hello, nice to see you coming in from Mass. Bronwyn in Victoria. Hello to Bonnie Cohen. Nice to see you both today. Hello to Sue in Massachusetts and Sarah in Texas and Janine in Norfolk. Hello to Carolyn in Idaho. Hello, Janet and Peter in Toronto. Great to see you today. Hello to Kate in the south of France. Glad to have you with us today. Hello to Kathy. And hello to Kevin Ennis. Thank you, Kevin. Day 678 today. Let's all give it up to day 678, as well as to Kevin for reminding me. Hello to Caroline in DC, Susan in Seattle. Hi, Julie in Ontario. Hello to Nancy in New Hampshire. Hi, Karen in Oregon. Hello, Gloria in Minnesota. Nice to see you again. We've missed you. Hello to Lynn and Cliff in Vermont. Hi, Ralph and Penny in Victoria. Hello to Lynn in Connecticut on Darla's grooming day. Hello to Darla, who's very patiently being groomed. Hello to Jim in New York City, Gary in Massachusetts. Hi, Jane in Texas. Hi, Carol in Connecticut. Hi, Fred in Silver Spring. Hello, Trish. Wait, I saw you already. And I saw Amanda and Miles already. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you coming in from Indiana. Hello, Denise in Suffolk. Hello to One Cinnamon Bear, not with Bob or with Mabel. That's a new one. Hello to Cheryl Davies. Nice to see you. And folks off video today, Lisa and Jim and Ruth in a coffee shop. And hello, Phil, coming in from Totnes. And hello to Caroline. And hello to Loriana and Kachina and Courtney and parents over there in Vermont. Hello, Bob, out biking. And Anne and Storm and Kristen and Shari in New Hampshire and Robert. And Naomi and Gary and Kat and Cricket. And other folks still popping in the room. Lisa in Michigan. Hello, Ralph. Nice to see you. Hello, Mary Eagle and Sheila and Rosalie. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. Wow, so glad to see so many of you. Happy Saturday. It's always beautiful to see all these smiling faces. And today we're smiling more than usual because we have the amazing Peggy Seeger coming in from England, hosted by the amazing Reggie Harris, coming in from maybe Michigan, maybe New York. I forgot to ask. He's going to tell us. And here comes Reggie Harris.
And here he is, coming to you live from Philadelphia. And that's one of the reasons I'm wearing this big, obnoxious shirt. I'm also wearing it because it's cold. And this is the warmest thing I got. However, Joe, I always love that intro. And I told you, I couldn't possibly do it with the energy that you do it and with the warmth. Warmth and energy. And hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to be with you today. I do bring you greetings from the city of brotherly love. And this is my hometown, actually. So I'm here in the hometown where I was born. And thinking about song, I couldn't possibly be more joyful than to know that I am hosting one of my sheroes in the world, Coming to us across the pond today, or from across the pond today, Peggy Seeger and I have met several times over the course of years, but she came into my life again with the marvelous release of a CD in 2021. First Farewell, and graced the world with yet another amazing collection of songs. So, Peggy, it's so wonderful to see you and see you in red.
Always wear colors, especially in this gray country. So, one of the songs on the new CDs, I took some words from some Filipino women that I met here who come to England so that they can earn money to send home. And one of the things she kept saying, she says, I live in a gray country here. I live in a strange country. I live in a cold country. I live in a damp country. And sometimes you add all those three together or four together, it's gray, it's damp, it's cold, and of course, oh, dear me.
Oh yes, well, that's part of the deal we have to deal with, in coming through the dark time of the year. And fortunately, the days are starting to get lighter, and having you here today certainly makes the world a lot lighter. So, what do you have for us today for a song?
Well, before we start, I want you to get a pencil and paper because there's something I want you to write down later.
Oh, okay.
It's not complicated, and it's only 3 words, but it's so easy to forget. There's an application called I think it's called These 3 Words. Do you know about it?
No, I don't. Tell us.
If you look it up, the world has been divided, or it's been not divided. The world's divided enough, but this divides the world into square meters.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're lost in the forest in the Amazon and you have any kind of service to your phone, all you have to do is go to that application and you get the 3 words, and they're very strange, and help will know exactly where you are.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah. So it's telling you where you are right now. Yeah.
Which is a very useful thing on some days. Will it tell me my name too?
No.
Oh, okay, fine.
Well, I don't think so. I've never had to use it. I get lost when I go from the dining room to the kitchen.
Oh, dear. Well, lose us in a song.
Okay, back in 1963, there was a big boycott of fruit and wine and meat and all kinds of canned goods, what we call tinned goods over here, from South Africa. And it had been given the go-ahead by the South African people. Yes, you can boycott us. We need you to stop the whole economic system that is keeping us down. Now, de Klerk, it's a Dutch name. He was the last South African president who ruled under apartheid. But as this song got a little bit older, I brought in the new presidents every time I sang it. It's in American style, and I'm going to teach you the chorus like this, because boycotts are very strong. They're like petitions now. Petitions are really strong. Any way that we can object and stopping the economic juggernaut is probably one of the best things we can do. So here's your chorus. I'll sing it all the way through so you know what you're bound for. And if you don't want to sing it, you can go get yourself a cup of tea and disappear. But here's how it goes. I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie, and it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. Outspan, previous to the boycott, the South African goods had been called Cape. That was what was on every orange, every apple. So when the boycott began to work, they changed the name to Outspan. So that's what Outspan has to do. So I'll sing a line, and then I'll sing it, and you'll join in silence from wherever you are. I support the boycott, here's the reason why. I support the boycott, here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie. And it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. And it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. So I support the boycott all along the line. Joe, did you put the words up on the chat?
Yes, I sure did.
Bless your little cotton socks. Good. Okay, here we go. I am a busy housewife. I cook and wash and clean. And every day I go to shop down at Golders Green. Now the shopkeepers, they tremble when I walk inside the door. If I see the label Cape, then they know I'm bound to roar. No, I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie, and it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. I went down to the grocery, I bought a tin of fish, and I looked at the label when I poured it in the dish. Too late, I saw it was South African. I give it the cat instead, but she turned pale and walked away, and this is what she said. Meow! I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie, and it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. I went up on the mountain to take the pleasant air. An avalanche came rolling down, left me lying there. And a great big dog came lolloping up with brandy in a cask. I says, friend, if that's South African, just you lollop past. Yes, I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie, and it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. Last week the Prime Minister asked me out to dine. He said, now an aperitif, how about some sherry wine? I took a sip, what brand, says I? South African, says he. I says, stuff it up your cabinet and tell them this for me. Yes, I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie, and it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. I look on all the bottles, the boxes and the tins, and I look under orange peels and under fish's fins, on apples, wine, tins of meat, everything they sell. And if you don't agree with me, I boycott you as well. Yes, I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspan lemon pie, and it suits de Klerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. Well, you did a great job. I was lip reading a lot of you. I would say, if we're going to sing it again, and you're not going to sing it, just, just make your lips move so I'll keep you singing. Yeah.
Move your lips, move your lips.
I need to tell you about the term boycott. It's very common, and it comes way from back in the 1880s. Charles Parnell was the president of the Irish National Land League at that time, and he was addressing a meeting of land reformers, because Ireland has been invaded for 7 or 8 or 900 years by Britain, and so he was addressing this Irish National Land League, and he said, quote, When a man takes a farm from which another has been evicted, you must show him the roadside when you meet him. You must show him in the streets of the town. You must show him, meaning spurn him, in the streets of the town. You must show him in the fair and the marketplace, and even in the house of worship, by leaving him severely alone, by putting him into a moral coventry, by isolating him from his kind as if he were a leper of old. You must show him your detestation of the crimes he has committed. Now, the leper to which Parnell referred was Captain Boycott. He was a County Mayo landowner. Thus began the use of the term boycott and the practice of boycotting. The action against South African goods in Britain lasted from early in the 1960s to late, believe it or not, in 1993. That's a third of a century. It was so effective that the producers of Cape Fruit had to change their brand name to Outspan. Now, I used this song for years because the later South African presidents weren't much better than de Klerk, even though apartheid, but this song was made for subsequent boycotts. De Klerk was the last under apartheid. But South African white presidents, one by one, they were assassinated or they were replaced. And as they were replaced, I just slotted the new leader's name into the chorus and kept singing the song. So that's the history of the song. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Now,
powerful.
so now we know. Whenever there's something I don't know, I press a button on my phone, and either Siri or Alexa or one of those information things, so that Google and Amazon and all of them, they know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but I can get the information. It's a wonderful thing. Sometimes you don't always know if it's true or not. Uh,
Yeah, sometimes you have to cross-reference and try to dig a little deeper. But it's a wonderful thing, from years ago when you had to go to the library and get into the stacks and try to uncover it in some way. So it's a wonderful resource. The first boycott that I was aware of was right here in Philadelphia.
well,
When I was growing up, all of us all around Philadelphia, of course, we were eating cheesesteaks, which are very big. But there's a company called the Tasty Baking Company, and they make things called Tasty Cakes. And these are little cakes and pies that they would make. And throughout the black community, of course, they were very, very popular. Um, and at one point, one of the ministers that was actually very close to my house, Reverend Leon Sullivan, who ended up being the first African American, he had a great tie to South Africa, as a matter of fact. He was the first African American appointed to a corporate board. I believe it was Chrysler. At any rate, no, General Motors, I believe. But at any rate, eventually went to South Africa for a board meeting and was strip searched in the airport and embarrassed and treated very poorly. And he eventually developed something called the Sullivan Principles, which were used to divest corporations from South Africa. But
fantastic.
in the 50s, he led a boycott against the Tasty Baking Company, who would not hire African Americans in any regard, and asked all of us in the black community to stop eating tasty cakes. And we all went, oh no. But we did it. And we stopped buying tasty cake crumpets and cupcakes and pies. And over a course of time, the company relented and began hiring African Americans for their company.
People in America have done so many brave things. The boycotting of the drugstores. So the people who went in and just sat there, and
Hmm.
Rosa Parks. It's just absolutely extraordinary. Yeah,
It truly has been. Yeah. The one
really.
of Go ahead. I
So
was
where
just going to ask you, that song in particular, but you want to talk a little bit just about the power of song in terms of spreading the idea of boycotts and protests in your life?
well, um, I've made some probably the most useful protest song that I've made was one called "Carry Greenham Home," which was about the women's peace camp at Greenham Common in England. We made a number of protest songs, and one of the problems was that I don't have a strong voice. I can't sing at demonstrations. I just don't have the voice for it, and I also don't have the personality for it. I'm not a Billy Bragg. I'm not a Pete Seeger. I'm not a Paul Robeson. I'm not. I I make songs that can be used by them, but my songs were often a bit wordy.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, look at the one about that I've just sung now. So what I'm trying to do now is, I think the people who are sitting on fences, people who are not correlating one issue with another, uh, they're sitting on a fence. And I want to push them over on to my side. And it's very easy, as we can see from a lot of the things that are happening with the anti-vaxxing and all that, it's easy to push people over to the other side. So on my new album, the song called Lubrication is one of these. And
Great.
everybody starts smiling when you say lubrication. And it's very funny because I just keep a straight face when I announce it. We sing it. And it turns out to be something completely different from what you thought it was. It's a very useful way. I call them wedge songs.
Okay. Wedge songs.
And a number of the songs that I've written about climate change and about various, not so much strikes, but really serious big issues, because it's like, in a way, it's like the Christmas or the Thanksgiving turkey. You can't eat the whole thing at once. You eat it in bites. So we're giving bites, and then we're showing them the big turkey, which, of course, most people are smarter than we think they are. But a song doesn't need to cross every T and dot every I. So I don't use the term protest song anymore, because I feel that what I'm doing now is educating, is making people work one aspect. You know, how much time have I got to talk about this? Because it was a very interesting thing happened to me in Australia. Have I got
Okay.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote a song about W. Bush back when he was, I think he was running for, when we were trying to impeach him. And those of you who are older than kindergarten will remember a little gizmo that they had, which you just pressed a button and it would tell you how many more days W would be in.
In office.
Don't you? Do you remember those?
Yes, I do.
So what I did is I had a song that had a very outspoken chorus, and I asked somebody from the audience to come up and hold this little machine and tell us at the beginning how many days, hours, and minutes and seconds that W was going to be in the. So we'd all sing it, and then that person would press it again. I'd say, "How many does he have now?" And he would tell me it. So it was going down bit by bit. And the chorus was very catchy. And the Australians are rather like Americans. They sing even when you don't want them to. But they don't sing so much in harmony.
Oh.
So they're singing away, and it's about 200 people, and they're crowded into this kind of, it was cheek to jowl. And right in the middle of this, almost like a ghost at a banquet, was this very tall, do you know who John Cleese is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the big tall one who always, the Ministry of the Funny Walks, those things.
Right, right, with Monty Python.
Yeah, and the Faulty Towers, that one.
Ah, okay, yeah,
He,
yeah.
he was just sitting right in the middle with his mouth in a rictus, and every now and then his mouth would start moving, and he sat there just absolutely still, a picture of distaste.
Oh.
And he came up to the stage because I looked at him a lot, trying to get him to sing. I looked at him and I smiled, and he was going. He was close enough that my nearsighted eyes caught him. He came up to the stage and he said, "Ma'am," he says, "you were looking at me, weren't you?" I said, "Yes, but you do rather stand out. Everybody else was singing." He said, "Well, ma'am, I just got to tell you that I'm a Republican, and that is a very, very criminal song against our president." And then, and then he broke into a reluctant smile and he said, "But damn, that's a catchy chorus." So, yeah. And, and so you weasel your way in.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a really sledgehammer song. But
Well, that's the art of songwriting. And, I
yeah,
mean, that is, if you hit people in the face all the time, then, you put them on defense. But if you kind of, as you say, weasel your way in,
yeah,
catchy chorus, catchy title,
yeah.
it's so much more effective that way.
Well, I think we need to be. I mean, people who are quote on the other side, uh, they're often there for a very understandable reason. They're all the angry
Yeah.
ones who stormed the Capitol. They're in a bad place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frustrated, loss of power, loss of direction, with a cruel economic way that runs the world and
Yeah.
that disempowers people. And I don't mean that I'm, you know, agree with what they did because it was horrendous, but there's a certain element of most people that you can feel a sympathy with and feel, uh, it's a different way of dealing with things.
Yeah.
I
No.
call them wedge songs.
Hmm.
I don't write the sledgehammer songs much anymore. I write scalpel songs that get under your
Oh,
skin
I
like
love the distinction. That's
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
So
I see one of our friends in the room. Matt Watroba is with us. I want to invite him in. I know that you and Matt have had encounters on a number of occasions. And Matt, good morning to you. And as another one who is writing and singing what Peggy calls wedge songs.
I know who you are. Hello. Yeah, hello. Hello. How long is it since we've met?
Still muted, Matt.
You're muted. You're muted.
We're not getting you.
You are muted. We all do it.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, you're still
I
muted.
think he's actually on a microphone, and I think he's hooking it. I see that he's hooking it up. So
Oh, I see. Yeah,
you can
yeah.
keep babbling while
Oh,
he's.
it works better when you plug them in.
I won't tell you the
Oh,
name of
there we go. I heard that telltale sign.
I didn't know I'd be talking today, so
Well, there
can you
you
hear me
go.
now?
Hey, thanks for joining.
Oh, my pleasure. Yes, Peggy, the last time I saw you, you may or may not remember, was at the Everett Folk Festival, which was up in Michigan, a little mid-Michigan folk festival where you came up, and I think we sang for dozens of people in the audience that day. But you were absolutely just great. And I just when I saw Reggie's post about this, I thought, I just got to check in and see how Peggy's doing, and you're sounding and looking wonderful.
Oh, good. Well, I'm feeling good. I always feel good when I see all of you there. I really do.
And isn't
Yeah.
this a wonderful thing they do every day? This is just
Jojo and Reggie, you are absolutely astounding. 600 times.
I tell you, it's a really remarkable community we've built here. Matt, you and I talk often about this, and with the work that we're doing together and with Living Legacy, doing songs that connect people to the issues. And I love the fact that, Peggy talked about just, the interconnection between topics. But you want to share anything about, the work that you've been doing or the songs that we've been talking about in terms of making all of these issues more aware?
well, I love the idea of the scalpel, because the truth is no one wants to get hit with a hammer. Probably no one wants to get scalpeled either, but at least they don't see that one coming. But, one of the things I do with my community sings that were completely inspired by Peggy's half brother, Pete.
He's my brother.
When I
He's my
gather
brother, Matt. He's my
your
brother.
brother, when I gather people in a library, we don't ask who you voted for, and we don't ask any of those kinds of questions. And when the songs start being sung, all of that stuff falls away for a little while, and and we always do it in a circle, and it just always seems that, when you back somebody against the wall, you never make a change. But when you invite them into the circle and they start hearing these songs, and when it comes around to you and you pick a particular song, to me, that's the way you affect change, is you invite them into the circle first and then start singing these songs. And, one of the songs, Reggie, we've talked about that I've loved for so long is that song, Eyes on the Prize. Not until the last verse of that song does anybody mention the civil rights movement, or it could be about anything. It could be about any prize that any person might have their eye on, until you get to the line about freedom, and then we know it's about the movement. But up until then, the prize could be the first person in your family who got to college, or it could be the first person in your family who got a job beyond, or moved into a better neighborhood. And so that I love those kinds of songs that are open enough that you can sort of fill in the blanks with how it is personal to you. And it seems like those are the songs that last.
Oh, no, so true.
Yeah. So I just really appreciate the work you've done, Peggy, over the years. And I really wanted to check in just to see how you were doing.
Well, I'm sitting down. It'll take me a while to stand up.
Well, you are glorious in your presence as a sitting artist. And
Absolutely.
any new work on the horizon that you're taking on?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. And you can get your pencil out.
Okay.
The 3 words are Luna, Luna,
Okay.
Peggy Seeger. Go on Google and type that in,
Okay.
and it'll bring up a small Vimeo or video, which is 5 minutes, 44 seconds.
Not to be too specific.
Not to be too. Now, here where I live, one of the things that we're trying to do, many climate people, you can be Extinction Rebellion, you can go and sit down on Westminster Bridge, you can charge Parliament House, you can do those. But what I decided to do was do a scalpel film. In this village where I live, in the last 50 years, it's a little village called Ifley Village. I'm going to build you the story here.
Okay.
It has a church that was first put, its foundation stones were put down in the 1100s. It has houses in it that go back to the 1500s. It is a cul-de-sac village, so you can't race through it trying to get somewhere else. In the last 50 years, it has lost 20 of its 24 acres of green land to housing, which they call infill, duck, 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 duck. And so the nature of the village, which is literally, it's on what we call the quiet route, where people can walk, bring their dogs, their children, they can ride cycles, they can bring horses, mobility vehicles, and its roads are narrow. They're dangerous because there's curves, and we often have to back up. So they're talking about taking the last 4 acres of green field that we have. And in terms of climate change, this country, the federal government, the big government, has said we have to save every bit of green space, but we have too many builders, too many developers, too many crooked councils, too many councils who need money that the big government's not giving them. So they're coming in and they want this field. So we've decided to stand up for it. And it actually has a badger set in it. Now, I don't know how much you know about badgers, but it's a very big set, SETT. And it's big enough to warrant possibilities that it is several centuries old.
Wow.
It's not actually on the field. It's about a meter away, a yard away from where the houses are going to be, right there, with dogs, with children, with concrete. And they're putting concrete over all of the places underneath the ground where this tunnel of, they tunnel underneath the near fields.
Right.
So one of our people who lives right on the field, and this is things that somebody just decided to do. She set up a camera trap right next to the set, and she started taking videos, night videos. And when I saw some of those, I thought, oh my God, the life of these badgers just outside the front door of their set. I said, I'd like to make a film out of it. So I said to Rachel, the lady, I said, send me all the clips you have. She sent me 300.
Oh my goodness. Oh dear.
I went through the whole lot,
Oh my
and
word.
and I sifted out the ones to make a story of the badger's life. Now, we were told here you can't make it longer than 5 minutes. It's got absolutely, because people don't have they don't concentrate anymore. You have to
Yeah.
grab them right away.
Hmm.
So I made one that lasted 9 minutes and was told you have to cut it. So what the council did in the early days, even though it was totally illegal, they came in and started stripping the field. And my friend who took the badger film, she took a picture of them stripping the field. So we have combined these two things, me and a videographer and Rachel, to make a very simple film. Now, when I say simple, it is as simple as some of my sled wedge songs.
Okay.
And it outlines, it tells you about the field, and it shows the badgers actually their actual life with the birth of cubs. And there's a white badger in among them. Her name is Luna. We've named her Luna.
Okay.
White badgers are extremely rare. It's a gift from God if you believe in God. So Luna is our heroine of this. And I've put improvised music behind it, just improvised on the piano. And I would urge you to go look at it and send it to all your friends, Facebook it, Twitter it, because one of our major ecologists over here, he Twittered it, and he's now had 70,000 views of
Wow.
it. And
We've
there are
got
notes.
Flawn
There,
Williams has just put the link into the chat, so it's easily accessible here, and I love it. Carolyn Wolf said, "Peggy is badgering the council." So,
so we have a fantastic group of women who are looking up all of the legal and the documents that says that the council has done illegal things and that it's complicated.
okay,
But
yeah,
the film, Reggie, is so simple, and it is almost childlike.
wow,
And people are responding to it by saying, I was crying while I was watching this, you know.
I can't wait to watch it.
So what I want you to do is go look at it, put in some likes, Twitter it, anything, sign the petition, especially sign the petition, because planning is coming up in 3 weeks, and we
Okay,
need this.
great. Well,
So
thank you
that
for.
Luna, Peggy Seeger.
We got it. And as I said, the Flawn,
Thank you
thank
for
you, Flawn,
listening.
for putting that link into the chat. Everybody can grab that. And thank you for letting us know, and also for the continuation. You know, this, we realize that all of these things are indeed connected. And whether we have to boycott or whether we have to write or whatever we have to do, each of us in our own way, continuing to make a difference in the world.
And
Peggy, I know.
not
I
think
want,
that we're just small, not think we are
no,
big by doing small things.
we are. That's the only way change has really ever happened in this world. So I'm going to invite you to lead us again in that song, a chorus or two, and send us on our way for today, so we can go about doing whatever it is we need to do to make this world more sane, more just, more healthy.
Thank you, Reggie. Now, you said a chorus or two. Do you want just a chorus or two, or what do you want?
Yeah, I think just maybe a verse and a chorus, and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I'll do the last verse.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
I look on all the bottles, the boxes and the tins, and I look under orange peels and under fishes' fins, on apples, wines, tins of meat, everything they sell. And if you don't agree with me, I boycott you as well. Yes, I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspanned lemon pie, and it suits the clerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. And again, I support the boycott, and here's the reason why. I can smell apartheid in an outspanned lemon pie, and and it suits the clerk just fine if you drink his sherry wine. So I support the boycott all along the line. Yep. Good for you.
And
Long
good for
time.
you. Thank you so much, Peggy Seeger. Thanks for gracing us with your presence and so much amazing, wonderful information today. And you're looking mighty fine in that red, let me tell you.
So are you.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Matt, for joining us today, and all of you for your presence in this community. We are making a difference in the world, despite what you might see in the everyday papers and on the news. Change is happening in the world, and we are all a part of it. So, yes, don't think small, just think.
Oh, I like that.
Joe.
Thank you so much, Peggy Seeger and Reggie Harris. What a beautiful day. What an amazing bunch of discussions. Great song, Peggy, and so amazing to sing it. And I would love to actually keep singing it and singing it and singing it. And I always hate the fact that we have to actually go do other things in our life. But thank you so much for bringing it, sharing it. And I do encourage everybody to go check out Peggy's video. Completely cool video. And I'm going to say goodbye to everybody on Facebook Live. Thanks, Facebook, so much for joining us today. And remember, you can change the world one scalpel at a time or one song at a time right here at the Daily Antidote of Song. So come on and join us again tomorrow for the last day of our Singing for Racial Justice Week. And we've got a Black History Week coming up next week. We hope you'll join us for that too. Everybody wave goodbye to Facebook. Goodbye, Facebook. And thank you again, Peggy Seeger.
Thank you.